It's time for a Wellness Revolution. Brought to you by Hotze Health and Wellness Center. Honest discussion on maintaining health and wellness naturally to enjoy a better quality of life.
He's the doctor fighting to let you keep your doctorate.
Now, Dr. Stephen Hotze. Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution podcast is brought to you by Physicians Preference Pharmacy, formerly Hotze Pharmacy.
Welcome to Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution. I'm Stacey Banfield here with Dr. Stephen Hotze, founder of the Hotze Health and Wellness Center. And you can always go to hotzepodcast.com to download some of our best podcasts. We always have a lot of great content for you. That's HOTZE podcast.com. Well, today, men, listen up. This is something that pertains to you. And especially in this day and age, we know people are trying to take more charge of their health, trying to find ways they can optimize their health. And this is something that can kind of sneak up on men, can it, Dr. Hotze?
What can sneak up on men?
Lack of a certain hormone.
Yes, it can.
Starts with a T.
Yes.
I don't think it rhymes with anything. It's called testosterone.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to talk about it.
Okay. So I'm on.
You're on.
Well, listen, we're on. And I want to encourage each one of you to make sure that you have a professional doctor and a staff of professionals who can coach you on a path of health and wellness naturally. So as you mature, you got energy, vitality, and enthusiasm for life. And we have enthusiasm for life today. Are you alive, awake, alert, and enthusiastic?
I am.
See?
Absolutely.
Right here. Right here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, we have an enthusiastic individual. And that is my sweet personal aide, Stacey Banfield, and she does a great job, and I'm glad to have her enthusiastic every day. She keeps me enthusiastic. Now, men, today we're going to talk about something very important. We're going to talk about how you can put a tiger back in your tank. That's right. Put a tiger in your tank. Let me explain. One of the most significant problems that men have as they mature is the inevitable decline of their body's testosterone. Testosterone, of course, is the male hormone. It causes male pattern action and gives us men vitality. It's the hormone that takes little guys with high squeaky voices and gives them a beard and muscles and low voices. They go from singing soprano to singing bass. And they, all of a sudden, girls no longer have cooties, but girls are something they're looking at and liking a lot. And it turns the whole thing around. It's what makes men's world really revolve around enough testosterone so they have the drive to get up and get after it and make things happen. So let me explain about testosterone. Testosterone is made by the testicles. That's why it's called testosterone. Made by the testicles, and it begins manifesting itself primarily at puberty, and then it goes up and it peaks in the early 20s in a man's life, and then gradually over time testosterone levels gradually decline, and that can have an adverse effect on men's mental and physical health. Let me explain. Testosterone affects brain health. When men's testosterone begins to decline, they lack initiative, they lack assertiveness, sense of well-being, self-confidence. Their moods go down, their goal orientation, their drive, their directiveness, their decisiveness, their analytical ability all begins to decline. How do I know this? Because I've talked to thousands of men who've come into my office in their late 40s or early 50s and 60s and say, I just don't have it anymore. I just don't have the drive I used to have. I don't have to get up and go. What's going on, Doc? I need to retire. Something's wrong. I need to sell my business. And I say, look, don't blame me if after we've got you on testosterone, if you're an independent entrepreneur or in sales, don't blame me if you've doubled your income within 2 years of getting up and on the program. Don't blame me. But you got to promise me that you'll get yourself a good wealth advisor to manage the extra money you're going to make. And I've told this story in conferences with groups of doctors, and they laugh when I say that. I say, I'm being dead serious. I can't tell you the number of guys that have been in my office and told me they wanted to retire. Mm-hmm. And by the time we got up on a program, they'd come back in a year or 2 or 3 and go like, Doc, you turned it all around. I mean, my business has grown like crazy. I just sold it for millions of dollars. You made me a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't make anybody multimillionaire. People take charge of their own health. That's what you got to do. If you're not at the top of your game, you got to ask yourself, why am I not at the top of my game physically? If you don't have the drive and the initiative and the assertiveness, and you're out there hitting them a lick and have goal orientation, and you're not up and at them, you got to ask yourself, why? If you used to be that way, why aren't you that way now? The reason is, inevitably, in all men, it's their decline in testosterone. It works primarily, first and foremost, on your mental function. It controls the amount of neurotransmitters, brain hormones. I mean, the brain neurotransmitters that you make to make you think well and think right. It's critical to brain function. And just like female hormones affect the brain function, hormones, first and foremost, affect the way you think. And so when testosterone levels go down, men just get despondent. They get kind of like a bunch of old fat geezers sitting in front of TV drinking beer in their underwear and lose all their drive in life. Well, that's not the way it should be. I believe that you can continue to be vibrant, healthy, dynamic, well into your 80s and 90s if you keep yourself and your hormones at a good optimal level. Now, let me explain about testosterone. Many of you have probably gone to get your testosterone tested by your family doc, or maybe you've gone to your urologist or gone to an internist and go, oh, your testosterone's normal range. Let me explain to you about testosterone ranges. The labs determine your testosterone range. So when you're 20 to 30, your range is high and a high level. When you're 30 to 40, the range drops down. It's got a lower level range. When you're 40 to 50, it's lower. The range lowers. 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80. So you can see all the way up here in your 20s, your optimal range is here, and you're within the range. If you were down here, you'd be low. But now all of a sudden, you can be 60 to 70, and the doctor say, you're within the range for a 60 to 70-year-old. Who the heck? What man wants to have his testosterone levels in the range of a 60 to 70-year-old or 50 to 60-year-old or 40 to 50-year-old? You want your range to be where you were in your 20s. Who has health problems? Young men who are vibrant and they've got plenty of testosterone and they're in their 20s? Or is it men in their 60s and 70s who have low testosterone that have health problems? Some men with low testosterone. Testosterone not only affects your brain function, it affects your muscle mass and muscle strength. So how many of you have lifted weights, and over the years you find you can't lift what you used to lift? You don't have, and your muscles aren't as toned as they used to be. Maybe you're on the same program, but you just can't build muscle anymore. The reason is you're low in testosterone. Testosterone strengthens your muscles. It enables your muscles to grow, and that's what causes young boys who don't have any testosterone, they're skinny as a rail, all of a sudden they get testosterone, they're muscular. That is the effect of testosterone on muscle growth and muscle strength. It also affects your cardiovascular function. Your heart health is governed by your testosterone. Remember, the heart is a muscle, and testosterone affects muscular growth and muscular strength. So it's been shown that testosterone not only strengthens cardiovascular function, it also increases blood flow through your coronary arteries to the heart. They've done studies on individuals where they've done stress electrocardiograms and they're monitoring the monitor, and it shows that they're having some problems with blood flow. They give them an injection of testosterone, and that opens up, and the electrocardiogram under a stress EKG begins to normalize just on testosterone. So it has a vasodilatory effect. It vasodilates the coronary arteries. And they use it commonly for angina in Europe. It's a very good drug for that.
Well, and Dr. Hotze, you also like to say that the number one killer in the United States is heart disease.
The number one killer for male and females after iatrogenic doctor-induced deaths, the number one cause of death is heart disease caused by inflammation in coronary artery disease that blocks the blood flow to the heart. So testosterone is very important for keeping your heart at a strong functioning level. And so Who has poor heart conditions? Men with high testosterone levels in their 20s, or men with low testosterone levels in their 50s, 60s, and 70s? Now, it's a rhetorical question. Of course, men with low testosterone are the ones that have the coronary artery problems and have coronary artery disease, and they get heart attacks. They get congestive heart failure. Also, testosterone protects your bones. Testosterone stimulates your osteoblasts to form new bone tissue so your bones stay strong. As individuals age, they will invariably develop osteopenia, lessening of bone, and osteoporosis, where you get loss of bone. And this predisposes them to get, fractures very easily. So you hear of older people when they fall, they'll break a hip, right? Well, that's because they have very brittle bones. One way for men to strengthen their bone health is to take testosterone. We've had men coming in with osteopenia and osteoporosis in their 50s or 60s. We get them up on testosterone, and that completely resolves naturally. The other thing that testosterone does, it stimulates and improves your romantic moods and inclinations, your desires, and it also improves your abilities. So no man has problem with ED because he's got low levels of Viagra. Your body never made Viagra. You didn't take Viagra when you were a young man. You had good levels of testosterone. Testosterone increases your romantic moods and inclinations and your ability. So that's very, very important. And rather than taking a bunch of drugs like Viagra and other drugs like that, get yourself on testosterone. That'll be one of the benefits. It's not the only benefit. So if you want to improve your health, you need to keep your testosterone level at an optimal range, the range you were in your 20s. Now, what causes testosterone levels to decline? One is just the natural aging process. Two, petrochemicals in the environment. We all come in contact with petrochemicals. They are xenoestrogens. They are estrogens that are made. Petrochemicals are estrogenic in structure, like estrogen molecules, and they disrupt hormone production and utilization within the cells.
Yeah, and Dr. Hotze, isn't that one reason why we are seeing younger and younger men coming to our center?
Right.
Because of their exposure to those petrochemicals.
Right. I've seen, and I can think of one young man I remember seeing
He worked in a refinery, I think.
Yeah, well, this one did pest control. He sprayed pesticides and insecticides. Mm-hmm. He was 28 and his testosterone was in the gutter. Mm-hmm. And then we did a volatile chemical test on him. He's full of all kinds of organic chemicals. They act as xenoestrogens, and they cut down on the testosterone and sperm production in males. So over the last 60 years, there's been a dramatic decline in sperm production in males and also in testosterone production. That's why I think we've got such a wimpy, effeminate group of men in the country. It's ridiculous. Why is it? Why are they effeminate? Or why are they just not strong male leaders and have strong convictions and are willing to stand up and defend family, home, and hearth and country? Because their testosterone levels are low, and they just don't have that same drive that a man does with high testosterone. So testosterone is extremely important, and I highly recommend it for individuals as you mature. I've been on testosterone since I was 46. When I first found out that we could replenish testosterone, I checked mine and started taking it. I've been taking it for ever since, and I'm 69 today, and I feel like $1 million. I've got a 10-year plan I've rolled out. I'm ready to go and go after it every day, and that's because my testosterone level's good. So anyway, I want to encourage all you men, get yourself on a path of health and take charge of your health, get yourself on a path of health and wellness naturally. And I think for men, the most important thing you can do is replenish your testosterone. That doesn't mean the other things to do for health, like clean up your eating program, get off all the carbs you're on and the simple carbs and the sugar, make sure your thyroid levels are good. You keep those levels good in your body. Make sure you take your vitamins and minerals. Make sure you exercise. Get good sleep. If you do that, you're going to do exceptionally well, and you're going to find that you are miles ahead of all your other buddies who are beginning to really sag as they age. Look, I see when I go back to my class reunions, these guys are Many of these guys, old, fat, retired with all kinds of diseases, they're not doing anything. They're sitting around like couch potatoes. And I'm thinking, I can't imagine that. And I know that they would all have benefited had they got on testosterone earlier in life. Sir, you're going to get to a point in your life where winter's going to say, what did you do all spring and summer? It's a little late to turn around. Time to get yourself turned around is now when you're young. Whatever it is right now, get yourself on a path of health and wellness naturally. So as you mature, you can enjoy a better quality of life.
And it's easy. It's easy to get treated. All you have to do is take that first step. Give us a call at 281-698-8698. Have a conversation with one of our consultants. We'll also get you a complimentary book as well from Dr. Hotze, 281-698-8698. Thank you for joining us here today on Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution.
A special thanks to Physicians Preference Pharmacy, formerly Hotze Pharmacy, proud sponsor of Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution podcast.
Information provided on this radio program is neither intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice and is not intended to replace the services of a physician, nor does it constitute a doctor-patient relationship. You should not use information from this radio program to diagnose or treat a health problem or disease without consulting with a qualified healthcare provider. If you have or suspect you have an urgent medical problem, promptly contact a professional healthcare provider or call 911. Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution radio program advises you to always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider prior to starting any new treatment or with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Any application of the recommendations from this radio program is at the listener's discretion.